almost in time for Christmas 2025. Got a cool project that you should try out if you're a good solderer. You need a soldering gun. You need a 3D printer. So if you got a friend maybe that'll print you a case, and you know you're pretty good with a soldering iron. This is what I call 5-Tooth. It's a little gadget. It's a Bluetooth DAC that will give you control over your audio with 5 parametric filters. A low shelf, 3 peaking filters, and a high shelf. And on the little display, it'll show you what your waveform, the impact of your filters across the audio spectrum, what that looks like. So let's go through the user interface a little bit here. And here's one I'm getting ready. All I got to do is put it together. This one is done with with these 1/4-inch plugs that are coming through the piece of wood as for the buttons. And then here's the 3D printed case. It comes in 2 pieces. That top part pops off, and the display mounts in the top. DAC mounts up on the back of the top, and the plug comes out that end. ESP32 here in the bottom, and there's where the power goes in. So there you can see what it will look like. But looking through the UI, when you first turn it on, you get this first screen that lets you know the name of the Bluetooth and whether or not it's streaming. And if you start pressing buttons, if you go left, it doesn't go anywhere because we're all the way at the far end. Got to turn all the way around to like address you. Start pressing the right, and you start seeing the things that you can change, with the first one being the attenuation. Attenuation is there because you've got a digital buffer, a digital range of values, and a parametric bump in volume could push it up to where it clips. So what this attenuation does is it sort of compresses. Probably compression may be just as accurate as a way of saying it, but it compresses the audio signal so that any increase you make with a parametric filter, especially the low shelf, it won't clip. And then when it does clip, it makes a terrible noise. So you'll know that you need to attenuate. You can also drop the volume coming from your Bluetooth source, and it'll bring it down to where it's not clipping anymore. That's what attenuation is for. Then we get into the filters. If a filter is on, you can turn it off here, and you can see the impact of it. So on the little display there, you can see that filter 0 is the low shelf filter. So with it off, your bass is basically flat. When I turn it on, oops, I went to attenuation somehow. You turn it back on, you see how the bass bumps back up. Then you can keep going right and see the 3 parameters, the 3 parametric values that you can set for the filter, with the frequency, the center frequency being 1, the dB change being 1, and the Q being another. So while I'm on this low shelf filter, if I wanted to make it have less impact, I could bring the dB down, and you see how it's bringing it down. You can even make it cut bass by going negative there, and you see it changing on the graph. Okay, so that's the low shelf. Now we'll get into the parametric filters the peaking filters. Filter 1 is a peaking filter. Right now it looks like it's set up to put a notch in the bass at 192 hertz of -6 dB with a Q of 1.1. So watch what I do when I increase the Q, how the shape changes. It narrows it up. That might be hard for you to see on this. And I'll lower it some more, bring it way down. So similar to the low shelf, except a peaking filter doesn't have a shelf on one end. It peaks, so the Q sort of dictates the shape of the curve. The gain dictates the strength of the curve, and then of course the center frequency. You can move it back here so you can see it moving left and right. Well, let's see, peaking 1. I want the frequency, so I can raise it and you can see it moving. Then there's three peaking filters, 1, 2, and 3. So you notice that filter 2 is off. So if I go to the right of that one, there's nothing to see, right? The frequency and the gain and the Q for that one are not displayed, so you can skip over them. Let me go back over here to peaking 1 for a second and show you what it looks like. So it's on. If I turn it off, you see how it just completely is removed from the impact of the frequency ranges all the way across. So I think you get the idea from that. You got peaking 1, you got peaking 2, you got peaking 3, and then the last filter is the high shelf filter. And that's the one that it has the same impact as the low shelf filter, except on the high side, on the high frequencies. So that's how it works. You can listen to it while it's happening. It has enough power to drive headphones. It's not going to make them thump, but it has this sort of a wood finish on here to give it sort of a classy look. I think it looks really good. These buttons are they're capacitive touch, so any sort of a metal surface that you can present on the front surface of the wood will work as a button. I've got some files out there that will give you a print pattern that you can print it out on a piece of paper and then lay it over top of a piece of wood, and poke through it, and it'll show you where to drill, and then you can get your holes just right. I've got a pattern for both this with the wires, and then the one here with it's like a quarter diameter bit hole. You just basically drill a hole a quarter diameter, and then there's like a plastic plug. And what this is I've pushed aluminum foil through it, right, and made those buttons as compared to the wire. This is like a kind of a thick stranded copper wire. The wood is different. This wood's got a knot in it and it's got curves in it. Either way, I think it makes it look pretty slick. So, all right. Build instructions are on the website. Firmware is on the website. So, hope you enjoy it. Maybe you got time. If it's instant download, you got time to build. Well, you got to order the parts. You got to order an ESP32. If you buy 3 of them, you can get them for $5 each. You got to order a display. They're like $5 each as well. And I think the DAC is I don't know, 5 or 10. So. It's like I'm all backlit here. We're going to build a 5-tooth. Printed out the wire list. I got the case straight off the printer. I haven't even popped it off the glass yet. got a previous prototype laid out here so that I can show how it's going to be laid out. So maybe I can do this better by walking you through it with the camera in hand. So that's the model. We have an ESP32. This is the DAC, the display. This over here is the prototype where I created all the software. Got it working so I can see, kind of see the wires. Make sure that while I'm wiring this up, I've got it laid out like this, right? Because this will go in here. Well, actually, this is going to go here upside down, like that. This will go in here like that. The display will go in the top. I don't have a top here right now, but that's the top, right? It'll go in the top. I'll show you. Like I'm going to flip it over this way. It'll go in the top like that. So what I'm doing is I'm going to lay it down like that, flip it over that way, and lay it down like that, and solder into it. And this right here, I've got this sitting here to give myself some sort of a concept of the spacing. So I'm going to follow the wire list, and with it basically laid out, spaced about like that, solder the wires to where they're supposed to go. Now most of these wires I'm going to use it's a pretty thin, flexible stuff. This wire right here it got stripped off of one of these ribbon cables. So that's the kind of wire I'm going to be using for the signals. For the power connections, I'll probably use something a little more substantial, like a slightly heavier gauge. Okay, I think that's about all I wanted to show you and talk about. I've never done this before, this kind of, I don't know if anybody ever has, but I'm creating buttons out of wires. So this is the front surface. I'm going to have 4 wires. I'm going to use the capacitance button capability of the ESP32. Here on the back side, I'm just making it so that they cross each other and they're flat. And then I'm going to solder to that. And then solder it to I got the other way into the wire going into the ESP32. I'll try to cram it all in here now. It's a lot going on in a very small space. So I'm going to have to get something to hold that display up. Put some bubble wrap or something in there. See if it'll all go in there. wire soldered into the DAC, there's not enough clearance. I'm going to have to shave this off some. So yeah, I put this, that was hard to see. That's the top. This block right here goes in here and it puts pressure on. It's because I couldn't put pressure on the DAC any other way. It puts pressure on this end. This end's also the one that's got all the wires on it. Well, I'm in the layers, right? So I just took my cutters and I clipped the layer right there to just tear off. Actually worked pretty well. I might leave it that long so you have some adjustability. Let's see if it fits now. Whew. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, it went in, and the display is pushed up and looks pretty flush. I need to make sure that the screws will go through, because there's a screw hole here. Oh, I can see right through there. There's no wires in the way. I'll probably go ahead and drive that screw in. That one would strip out the plastic on this end really quick and easy, so do not over tighten. Trying to mash these wires, try to get them sort of evenly flowing. Oh gosh, I've been off camera the whole time, right? So I've tried to bring it over. I'm really gonna have to mash those wires down in there. I don't know, that might work. It's feeling like it might want to go. It's a pretty good value, and it sounds good. You know, there's no way for me to describe to you how good it sounds over a YouTube video. Maybe you just have to trust me. Trust anybody that's selling snake oil. All right, thanks for listening.